It's the eCommerce MasterPlan Podcast, here to help you grow your e-commerce business faster and more efficiently by cutting through the hype to bring you inspiration and guidance from the e-commerce sector and beyond. Here's your host, Chloe Thomas.
Welcome. Today has been a very long time coming, so if you're listening to this, thank you. I am truly grateful, and I would love to know what you think and what you'd like to hear more of. This is Podcast Zero, and in this one, I'm going to explain what the eCommerce Masterplan podcast is all about. All the e-commerce business owners, managers, and marketers I speak to are concerned with the same things. What don't I know about that I should know about? Is what I'm already doing what I should be doing? What do I do next? That's why everything we do at eCommerce Masterplan is with the aim of helping e-commerce business owners and marketers make better decisions. With the podcast, my aim is to answer those questions by interviewing an interesting e-commerce business owner, manager, or marketer each week, helping you discover things, marketing methods, efficiency tools, ideas, tips, etc., that will work for your business. Some you may already use, some might be brand new. Why have I chosen to do this? Well, first let me tell you a bit about me. I'm Chloe Thomas, the author of 3 books on e-commerce. The first one I wrote was eCommerce Masterplan, your 3 steps to successful online selling, which takes you through the 3 fundamental steps you should follow if you want to grow your e-commerce business fast and efficiently. Next up came eCommerce Marketing, how to drive traffic that buys to your website. This one explains what each of the key 9 marketing methods are and how to approach them. Finally, and most recently, I've written e-commerce delivery, how your delivery strategy can increase your sales. Your delivery strategy is critical in getting you the first order and the all-important repeat order. This little book explains how to do it. The books, you can find out how to get hold of those via ecommercemasterplan.com, and they're available on audio, ebook, and paperback as well. The books and everything at eCommerce Masterplan are based on my 10 plus years working in the UK e-commerce sector, client side, agency side, and as a consultant. I've worked with all types of e-commerce business, from high street retailers launching their first online site and wholesalers trying to go direct to market, through to startups and massive mail order retailers. You name it, I've probably helped someone sell it, from holidays to fashion to subscription products. I've pretty much done the lot. So who is this woman behind the book and the microphone? Well, you can probably tell I'm British, but weirdly, I'm not English, Scottish, Welsh or Irish. I'm actually Cornish. Cornwall is a tiny county in the far southwestern corner of the British Isles. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world, and I love living here. Those of you lucky enough to have seen the excellent Poldark, which I believe is currently showing in both the USA and Australia as I record this, that's where I live. Living in Cornwall, I spend my winters watching a lot of rugby, union not league, and during the summers I'm learning to paddleboard and play golf, with occasional bits of sailing too. But don't go thinking I'm always hanging out on the beaches and around the old tin mines. I'm frequently in London and travel internationally several times a year in order to keep my finger on the pulse of the e-commerce world. I'm incredibly lucky to spend lots of my working time meeting, learning from, and working with and advising fascinating e-commerce business people all over the world. And I want to use the podcast to bring those ideas and conversations to a much wider audience, to you. It just seems selfish to keep it all to myself. I want to do this because I meet so many e-commerce business owners who are wasting time, energy and money on the wrong things, or are in total ignorance of the marketing method, idea, software that would instantly fix a pile of their blockers to growth or centers of stress. So my job is to bring you podcast interviews from a real mix of business types, products and countries, to inspire and guide you to make your business better, whatever that means for you. Whether you want to get from 2 orders a day to 4 orders a day, grow your turnover from $250,000 to $500,000, or get your weekends back. Whatever your success means, that's what we're going to help you through inspirations and guidance to get to with this podcast. Not every interviewee's story will resonate with you, which is fine. E-commerce is a wide sphere, and success comes from focusing on building what you have, not from getting distracted by the irrelevant. Some interviews will make you feel a bit smug. Cool, I'm already on top of that. Or why on earth would anyone have done that? It's excellent to get this reassurance that you've got that bit covered. It means you can get on with the next thing. Some of the interviews may leave you feeling a bit overwhelmed and like you could never hit their heights. Again, this is a good thing. It gives you an idea of where you might choose to aim for, and if you want to, how you can get there. I always find in those moments of overwhelm that looking back at what you've already achieved and never thought you could helps. One of my core principles is efficiency. How can we achieve X with the minimum of effort? And the first step is always to work out what you're not going to do. So please listen discerningly and pick the lessons and ideas that fit your business now and solve the problems you have right now. Of course, if you listen along and think you'd make a great guest, please contact us via the website, eCommerceMasterPlan.com. I am always interested to hear from you. The types of businesses I'll be talking to have one of these 3 e-commerce business structures. They're either bricks and clicks, so they have at least one physical store and a transactional website. They're online only, so all they have is that one website, no catalogue, no physical store. This part is going to include quite a few wholesalers as well. And the third e-commerce business structure is mail order, so businesses with a website and a paper catalogue. For those of you not familiar with the e-commerce business structure concept, I introduced it in my first book, and you can get a free guide that will tell you all about it, help you work out which your business is and why it's so essential for your future strategy at eCommerceMasterPlan.com. We'll be chatting to people from e-commerce businesses in their first year, right up to those who've been around for a long time. Their turnover will be anything from around 50,000 UK pounds or GB pounds per year. That's around about the 80,000 US dollar mark to a couple of million. So we're talking the small to medium sized end of the market because those businesses have very similar sets of issues and successes. I'm also going to throw in a couple of much bigger, more complex businesses who are doing some element of e-commerce so well that it would be criminal of me not to share it with you. It's always good to see what the people nearer the top of the ladder are up to, and we have 2 very interesting ones lined up for the first couple of months. I've got lots of ideas for future guests and extra episodes where I chat to experts in specific areas, maybe conversion rate optimization, AdWords, copywriting, or catalogue design. I've also got ideas for podcast episodes where it's just me answering your questions on key topics of the moment. But before I go and create all that extra content, I would first love to know what you want to hear so I can make the e-commerce Masterplan podcast as useful as possible for you, my audience. So please let me know what you'd like to listen to, what questions you've got at the moment that you want answered, who you want to hear on the podcast, and I will do my best to bring all of that to you. If you want to give me some of those ideas, then just go to eCommerceMasterPlan.com and you'll find all my contact details, or connect with me on Twitter at Chloe_ECMP. I'm keeping Podcast Zero nice and short so you can get to the great interview content faster. That's all available in Podcast 1 and beyond. So to sum it all up in a nice little nutshell, if you want to spend about 30 minutes each week listening to an inspiring story packed with tips on how to get new customers, tech you should be using, and ways to grow your business and save you time, you're going to love the e-commerce Masterplan podcast. I'm the host, Chloe Thomas, and I look forward to hearing from you. Cheers.
Thank you for listening to the e-commerce Masterplan podcast. Find out more at eCommerceMasterPlan.com.